Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to our live December 22nd. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy solstice, whatever you celebrate. I'm just glad that you're here with me to celebrate with me because they've actually just closed all of the gyms and my yoga studio in British Columbia in Canada, where I live, which is extremely disappointing. But we're gonna have to go with it. So that's why I'm in my comfy clothes today because I couldn't get up and go and do my morning routine this morning. Go to my ears. And I think I just got disconnected and reconnected. So, if anybody that is texting me is also watching this live, please stop. Anyways, guys, I'm really excited you're here because we're actually going to be talking about how not to look like your mom or your dad, or I'm dropping Christmas ornaments and stuff all over the place right now. How to not have your mom's bod or your dad's bod or, whatever, your family's health, how to not, to nip this intergenerational stuff in the bud for you so that you don't have to live in the same reality, the same body reality as your family. Because we do inherit a whole bunch from our families. And yeah, your eye color, your hair color, your bone structure, maybe even like the muscular structure that you tend towards naturally if you don't, if you don't work your muscles, if you don't manipulate them, if you don't maneuver them, if you don't, work out or build them or let them degenerate, if you're just like baseline, your baseline does have a lot to do with your DNA, your genetics, right? But just talking about muscle, and how manipulatable this is, like how maneuverable your muscular structure is. I mean, we all know that you can build like, exceptional amounts of muscle. You could also lose it. If you all of a sudden became wheelchair bound, you couldn't, you no longer had the use of your legs, like your muscle would atrophy and your legs would get a lot smaller. The same as, if you started running or cycling, your legs are going to start to look a certain way. If you start, lifting weights at the gym, your legs are going to look a completely different way. So these things, like, I mean, your baseline muscular structure, if you just do, the same amount of exercise and the same types of exercise, or the same, you have the same lifestyle, the same activity level of your parents, then your legs or your body, etc., they might look similar to your parents based on your genetics. However, this is very maneuverable just in and of itself, in the nature of, your muscles themselves. It doesn't have anything to do with your genetics. They're maneuverable, right? You are in control of how you play the cards that you're dealt, essentially, the genetic cards. So when we're talking about, getting into our best bodies, it's actually, I mean, yes, how you eat, how you exercise, how you manage your stress, how you, your sleep habits, your lifestyle, all this stuff is up to you, which can dramatically change your physical body. But what we're talking about today is actually one step further than that. And it's a pretty darn big step, because when we talk about inherited traits from our families, what we're finding in the research these days is that the traits that we are attributing to genetics, like my parents are overweight, my family is fat, therefore, so am I, these are actually more attributed to what we call epigenetics. So, epigenetics are actually the way that your genetics are responding to your environment. So, this is a kind of a harmonious relationship between your genes and your experiences and your environment. Now, this environment that affects your genetic expression is 2 layers deep. So, it is your internal environment. So, everything from, how you feel, how you think, and down to your gut microbiota and the programming of your nervous system, which affects your hormonal levels and the balances between them, which then affects how much weight you gain, how much weight you lose, whether you're hungry or not, whether you reach satiety, so you feel satiated, like you're full, all of these kinds of things. These all are wrapped up in this relationship, this environmental relationship that you are creating within. And then the next layer is the environment without. So the environment around you. Okay, I know myself, I am very sensitive to air quality. There is something about aircon because I've traveled so much. In the past 4 years, I've lived on 4 different continents. That this is how I live. This is like, I'm a little bit, I'm having some feelings about COVID and being stuck in the Canadian winter right now because I usually live in the tropics, and like, or just being able to have that freedom. Like I'm feeling some kind of ways about that, which definitely affects my internal environment. But like, I know from aircon in like Airbnbs or even sometimes hotels and stuff, I get very like moody. I don't know what it is, but if I spray like antimicrobial stuff into these aircon things, I immediately feel better. I don't know what it is, whether there's like mold or what it is in some of these air conditioning units, but like I get super moody. And also, when we have forest fires in Canada, or we lived in like the top of a shopping mall in Malaysia for 6 months, and I just did not feel good. Like, kind of consistently, there was always this sort of like, I just feel kind of foggy and I feel weird. So that's like an environmental thing that like it dramatically affects, like something in my body. So anything from things like air quality to, yeah, like, I mean, that air quality, that actually had to do with like, I think it has to do with like cleanliness. There's something in these old aircon units, or the aircon units that don't get cleaned a lot, that actually like aggravates me. So that's like a cleanliness thing. So being in like a clean environment, as well as the people around you, your relationships, the food around you. Like me, myself, when I get hungry, like when I'm hungry, I am like, give me the highest calorie thing I can possibly imagine. This is what I want. What I want is just the highest calorie stuff, like the fattiest, deep fried, give me like, some people, they'll crave sugar, they just want sugar. So for me, it's like high fat, like super calorie dense food. That's what I crave. I want like, a double bacon cheeseburger and like a poutine when I'm hungry. And if you're not from Canada, poutine is fries with like cheese curds, these like curdy cheese things that you get in Canada, and gravy. So it's like the craziest dirtbox thing. But if I have snacks in the fridge, if I've got like some carrot sticks and or celery sticks and some like homemade hummus, I'm totally satisfied with that. And I'm not talking about being, if you're like super restrictive about your diet, like you could be craving a burger and actually really want that burger. I have burgers on a regular basis. What I'm talking about is that if I allow myself to get like super hungry, I know myself, I want this like these super high calorie foods. But if I'm in an environment where I have some really healthy foods, I'm totally good with that. So that like that environment that you actually create, you know, like what's in your fridge, that can dramatically impact the your actions, right? And on a sort of, it's not ephemeral, but it feels pretty ephemeral right now if you're a researcher or if you're trying to really nail down epigenetics and how this happens, why we're gaining so much weight. It gets pretty kind of like spooky because this environment, it affects your genes. It affects the way that your body is performing. It affects your metabolic rate. It affects your body fat set point. So these things that we normally attribute, my family is fat, therefore I'm fat, etc. We normally attribute them to genetics. It actually isn't that. And researchers cannot tell you yet exactly what it is, but we know that it's not genes, it's not DNA. It is something is happening with your genes in relationship to the environment. Now, talking about the environment. Now, I know we all like to rationally think that we are free will people and that we have all of the free will in the world to decide, you know, how we live and what environment we have and what kind of relationships we have and what food we eat and etc. But the real reality of it, is that the majority of our mind is unconscious. So the majority of our mind, it's something like 80-20, 90-10, depending on who you talk to. The bigger number being your unconscious. So this unconscious mind, it has such an enormous role to play in what kind of environment you create. I don't think anybody on this planet can actually know the extent that this unconscious mind really does create your reality. And I'm not talking, I think that this whole like law of attraction manifestation thing, it has kind of like caught on by storm because of our inherent knowing that there really is something to our beliefs somewhere that is actually, you know, like making manifest the things in our life. And it sounds kind of spooky and ephemeral and sort of just like a little bit woo-woo, but I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely not. It's science. It's a knowing. We all recognize the truth that this unconscious layer of our minds is actually creating our physical reality. We know this deep down, and this is what is being proven in the research, in the science, is that this programming that we collect primarily from the ages of 0 to 7, when we're kind of living in this unconscious realm, this programming of the unconscious, it dramatically impacts your epigenetics, and therefore the way that your body is carrying its weight, or how much weight you're carrying, or the environment that you create, this dramatically impacts it, if not totally dictates it. So the trick with epigenetics is to change the environment. So the trick to getting into your best body is to change the environment. And remember, the environment is on 2 layers, right? So you change the internal environment, how you think, your mindset, how you feel, your heart set, how you sense, your soul set, or your intuition, and then like how you are actually, how your body is performing. So nervous system, metabolic rate, you know, body fat set point, etc. That's body set. So changing your environment on these layers, or changing the way that you think, the way that you feel, and the way that you sense, your sense of purpose, your intuition, etc., that going from the top down will actually change your body set. So it will change the programming in your body set, in your unconscious, on how much weight you carry, how fast your metabolism is, etc. And then the external layer. So we working on your external environment. So the way that people around you, the people that you relate to, the things that you do, the environments that you're in, and the things that you put into your body, or the things that you come into contact with. Changing those things also dramatically and changes your epigenetics. So if it was all this easy, which doesn't really sound easy, right? It's quite a lot of pieces that go into, having your ideal body easily, or, not being, letting these inherited traits rule your life, and ending up like the worst parts of your family, or even worse than that, or maybe a little bit better, but not, as good as you'd like to be. The way that we do it at Uproots Wellness is to do it step by step by step. And that's why our programs, they start at about 3 months. Usually our flagship program starts at 12 weeks, because we take you through all of this stuff step by step. And it's a simple 3-step process every single day that actually will allow you to reprogram this unconscious beliefs and this unconscious programming that is actually dictating your body type. And this is why it seems really, really hard. It doesn't seem possible. And this is why, if you're overweight, you eat, like 4,000 calories a day, and you sit on your butt and watch TV, and that really what you need to do is to eat less and work out a bit, go for a walk a day, maybe that will be an answer for you, but those aren't the people that I typically help. I help people who haven't been able to lose weight. So I help people who have already tried that. They've tried, eating less and moving more, and this doesn't work. They've tried different diets, etc., and it doesn't get them to the body that they feel is, ideal. It doesn't get them to the body that they feel is their best one, and what they feel comfortable in. And the reason that is so hard, and it is so hard, okay, it is so hard for other people, not uppers people, but other people, and uppers people too. We go through a lot of different stuff, and we offer a lot of support, because there's so many different levels, there's so many different layers to kind of grow through and heal. But the statistics on weight loss for the masses, Weight Watchers, for the long term, I think over a 5-year, I believe the statistics I was looking at was over a 5-year time frame. Their success rate is 0.1. It's 1 in 1,000. So Weight Watchers, all it is eat less, move more, right? And Noom is identical. They say that they have some coaching and mindset work, and I've looked into it, and it's so basic. It's just a diet. That's all it is. So Noom has, the numbers that they publish are their very short-term numbers. So it's in the first 6 months or whatever. But and Noom is you'd be on a 1,200 calorie diet. So you could go on a 1,200 calorie diet, and a lot of people are going to lose weight on a 1,200 calorie diet because you're starving. For most people, if you have a very small body frame, then you might not be starving. That might be an okay amount of calories for you. But for the most people, yes, your body will eat fat if you starve it of energy. Of course, that is the way that, your body is programmed to survive. But the reasons that you gain weight and the reasons that you lose weight, they aren't they don't begin and end there. This isn't just about a calories in, calories out thing, or else like this doesn't have there wouldn't be an obesity epidemic if this had, if this was the reason. And I was just talking to a student the other day, actually, that he had gone on a 1,200 calorie diet that was recommended by a dietitian, and he had been on it for months, and he was losing weight steadily for like a few months, and then for the past 6 weeks he has not lost any weight whatsoever. So he is a grown man. The typical grown man needs, I think it's like 22 to 2,500 calories a day, and he is also walking. He's going on an hour to an hour and a half walks every single day. He's eating 1,200 calories of, extremely lean proteins. He eats only white meats, and he's even eating low carbohydrate, and he has been plateaued for 6 weeks at a 1,200 calorie diet. So he is in, he's probably in at least 1,000 calorie deficit every single day, and he just stopped losing weight. So the whole idea that this is a calories in, calories out thing is completely, well, no, it's not completely bogus, but it's pretty rudimentary. It's like a very, very beginner's understanding of how energy is broken down in the body. What really works for people to lose weight, and this is going to sound pretty, broad in general, but it totally backs up everything that I'm saying. The only one correlation between all of the longest term weight losers is that they had a reason to make a real big lifestyle change. They made an inner change. They had an inspiration. They changed their life. They changed their life from within. They changed their life from without. They had the inspiration and the commitment to actually change the unconscious programming that was resulting in not just, unhealthy behaviors that they had inherited from their parents and from their family or from their culture, but also the unconscious programming that kind of trapped them into these beliefs that, or into these situations within, these situations without, that are actually contributing to them being overweight. So the trick to getting your epigenetics on your team is to change that environment. So you change the way that you think, you change your mindset, you change the way that you feel, you change your heart set, you change the way that you're intuiting, that you're empathizing, that you're picking up information kind of subconsciously. That's your soul set. And that in turn will change your epigenetics and how your body is programming from metabolism and your body fat set point, etc. So the ways to change this unconscious, because like I was saying, most of this programming came to you between the ages of 0 and 7, when you were kind of in this unconscious state and you were just absorbing information, absorbing the programming for your life, as well as from before then. So traumas from your family, you can actually inherit traumas. And that is more the case if you have been overweight as a child, which I suffered with. That is a representation of inherited traumas that are preventing your ideal natural health. Because look at animals around us, look at most children, and you'll see that like health is absolutely natural. This morning, I was so jealous of my cat because I know that my cat will be, healthy no matter what. If his yoga classes get canceled, it's all good. He's going to be healthy because he is completely in touch with his ideal body nature. And he'll run around if he needs to run around. He'll eat less if he's, doesn't need as many calories that day or whatever, because he's totally in line with his ideal body nature. As our children, as are all of us as adults, if we are actually in alignment with, just our natural genetics, our natural kind of base reality, our base kind of genetic coding, we would all be living in a body that we we feel comfortable in. That is our nature. So doing an environmental detox is a really good way to get into a better environment for your epigenetics. Using our Rumi therapies at Uproots Wellness is a powerful way to get you into a trance state and actually start undoing and reprogramming your unconscious for ideal health. And getting into repetition. So using repetition, because what created this programming in the first place was repetition. So you have absorbed, this programming, this unconscious programming through repetition that has made you accept it as reality, accept it as the way that it is. So through repetition, you can actually undo it. And that is habits. So creating habits, which is why in our programs starting in New Year's, we are going to be, our 12-week flagship program is going to be offered, and there are going to be 21-day challenges, 3 21-day challenges that will challenge you to create the habits that will actually undo this unconscious programming, get you into a healthy lifestyle, get you into a healthy environment within and without, in 3 easy steps every single day. The same steps every day. We just provide new tools for you to use every 21 days, but you do the same thing every day, the same 3 things. And yeah, the challenges are actually geared towards building these habits. So it takes 21 days to build this habit. So we're going to take 21 days and challenge you to build these habits that will get you aligned with your ideal body nature to make weight loss and being comfortable in your ideal body totally effortless. And after the 21 days, we'll just allow that to continue on, because after 21 days, you will have built the habit. So it'll kind of feel really easy and effortless for you to continue doing those things, or just continue being in that mindset, heart set, soul set, body set. And then we'll give you like a week off, and we'll start another 21-day challenge for the next set of habits that are going to reprogram your unconscious, reprogram, your environment within, reprogram yourself to align with the epigenetics that will create your ideal body nature. So at the end of the 12-week program, you're going to be in this like incredible state to not just be in your ideal body, but actually be in your ideal body effortlessly. So you don't have to be that person who is like on a 1,200 calorie diet when they probably need like 2,600 or 2,700 calories in a day. You're like cutting 1,500 calories, your body's going into starvation mode, and you're still not losing weight. If you want to start today, you can actually pick up our introductory 5-day how to use wellness for weight loss program at the link below. And if you use the code Happy Solstice, it will take that price from $100 to $0. So the link is in my bio in Instagram. The link is below in YouTube and Facebook. This is $185 worth of courses and tools from Uproots, but I'm giving it to you for Christmas and solstice and this season for free. And like, holy crap, if I would have known, I guess I'm probably not alone. A lot of you are probably having, your like gyms and yoga studios and stuff closed. So this is a really great opportunity to be able to like move online. We do not do the body moddies. We actually do have movement practices in the flagship courses. So there are no body moddies included in the introductory offer, but you can start reprogramming your unconscious and even your subconscious and your conscious, because that is a whole nother level to getting into the best body of your life. With our 5-day introductory program, all of the tools are yours to keep forever. And I think that it is a pretty epic deal considering, $200 for those things is probably a steal in and of itself, but I'm giving it to you for free. So I hope that you guys go and do that. We're not doing narrative exposure therapy today because I've gone a little bit over, and because you have so many tools waiting for you in the Happy Solstice deal. So yeah, go to the link below or the link in my bio and use the code Happy Solstice, no credit card required, and get your 5-day intro to using wellness to get into your wow body. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I hope you have a really, really happy holiday, and that you'll be showing up for my live next week. It's gonna be like second last one right before New Year's. Get those New Year's resolutions. Get into our best health this year in 2022 with me.